back to our channel. I'm excited for this video because it's something a little bit different and new. Today we're going to be making homemade oat milk. It's something that I've been doing now for a little bit, and I thought I would share it with you as we try to move into a more sustainable lifestyle. It's just easier for me to make oat milk than it is for me to continue to run back and forth to the commissary for milk, you know, that we put in our coffee and things like that. So if you'll come along with me right now, we will get into making some homemade oat milk. Making homemade oat milk is super simple. All you need is your blender, some rolled oats, which I have here, a little bit of salt, and your sweetener. I'm going to use maple syrup. You can use sugar. Some people use other types of syrup, and I believe I tried some vanilla hazelnut coffee syrup one time, and any kind of sweetener. Some people use dates, crushed dates and stuff like that. However you feel is best. We're going to try maple syrup today. Oh, and I also need some vanilla, which I have back here somewhere. Yeah, we're gonna put some vanilla in there as well so that we can make this oat milk. It's gonna be super easy to make. You're just gonna use a cup of oats and some water. We're gonna use 3 cups of water for the texture, and then you're just gonna add in the ingredients and blend them up. All right, so we are going to start with a cup of oats. And I have found that it is cheaper just to buy the oats than it is to buy the oat milk. 3 cups of water, you just pour it in there. Less is more. We're gonna go with about 2.5 to begin with. And then I'm gonna pour in about 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, about a tablespoon of vanilla, and a pinch of salt. And then we are just going to blend it on high for 30 seconds. So whenever that is done, you just take the lid off. It's blended up into a liquid now. See? And I'm gonna grab me a spoon so that you can taste the sweetness. Right? Oh yeah, that's great. And then we're gonna run it through a mesh strainer. All right, so I've got out my mesh strainer and my bowl. I'm just going to pour it through the mesh strainer here. And you will see that it collects all the excess particles, right? You can also strain it through a cheesecloth. I don't have a cheesecloth. I do plan to get one, but that is pretty simple. I am going to rinse this out and then strain it again, just so that it will have a creamier consistency. Oh, I guess I need to, let's see if, I'm just going to pour this back in here. Oh, Macey is waking up. And let's see if we can run it through again. Yep. So whenever you put this in the fridge, it will separate. You just shake it up whenever you want to use it. So I have our milk, and I always keep it in a glass mason jar. Let's see if I can do this. I will fill it all the way to the top. And 2.5 to 3 cups usually. I used 2.5 this time because I wanted a creamier consistency. But if you wanted to, you could add some more water. And keep adding water if you want. It will last about 5 days. So this is much creamier than regular milk. But it has a really good flavor, and I made it myself. So you should try it out. Super simple and an easy way just to have milk, especially if you don't have any on hand. Today we are going to be cooking up a new lunch recipe that I found online to use some of the chorizo that we had in the kitchen fridge. We bought it a little while back and I had put it in the freezer, and so I moved it into the refrigerator and let it thaw, and I've been trying to figure out what to do with it, and then I thought, oh, I had some potatoes in the cabinet, so I'm just going to use this recipe that I found on a food blog called Isabel Eats, and we're going to see how this works out today for lunch. Alright, so first I just have some Yukon Gold potatoes that I have washed, and I am going to just cut them into smaller pieces and get them into some boiling water. The kids are over there playing their new Snug as a Bug and a Rug game that they got from their Advent box. I don't think Tucker's having a good time. It's hard for 3-year-olds to learn how to play games and not be the winner all the time, but that's okay. That's a learning process. And one of the reasons why I'm glad that we keep them at home and we homeschool them, because I have an opportunity to speak life into him and teach him the importance of sharing without making him do so. It needs to be something that he wants to do, not something that is required in a classroom. But anyway, that's a subject for another day. So we are going to finish cutting up these Yukon Gold potatoes and see if we can get this chorizo dish cooked for our Monday lunch. One of the food bloggers that I follow for Mexican style food, and I will link her down below. I believe she also has a YouTube channel, so you might want to check that out as well. This recipe is called, I just had it, papas con chorizo. Yeah, papas con chorizo. So it's potatoes with chorizo. And I am going to use this chorizo sausage that we had gotten a while back when the commissary didn't have a very good stock of food, so I was just grabbing whatever I could find. But now it's time to use this chorizo. I also bought this Beyond sausage just to try, because we have been seeing a lot of things on Facebook and Food Network about it. So I'm actually going to cook this up on the side and see if anybody wants to taste it. It'll be an extra protein for them. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so I got the potatoes all cooked up and in this pot, and then I am going to start chopping up this chorizo to put inside of my cast iron skillet here. And I'm also going to cut these maybe into smaller pieces. I don't know. I need to see how they're supposed to be cooked. If you follow me on Instagram or not, if you do, you've probably seen some posts about this. If not, you can check us out over there on Instagram at Raising It Rogers. But we have started changing things up in our family, and I really wanted to have more of like a Sunday dinner type atmosphere in our house every day. So now, because Len comes home every day for lunch and has always come home every day for lunch, I cook our larger meal at lunchtime instead of dinner time. That's how it's been working out. It's a lot easier on me that way because we do have activities in the evening, and I don't like being rushed to get the kids to bed right after they've eaten. But now I know what time it is, so it's easy for me to start cooking. We can have a good lunch. Len goes back to work fed. The little boys, you know, it pretty much lasts them all day. They'll just eat fruit or cheese for dinner, and they are good to go. Whereas before, when I was cooking dinner, we would have so many leftovers, and it's gotten to the point where nobody really wants to eat the leftovers. So we rarely have leftovers unless nobody really liked the meal to begin with. So, but I'm trying to get away from that and start cooking more of what they actually like. All right, so this sausage is actually in a casing, but I don't really want the casing, so I'm just going to squeeze it out of the casing so we can have like the ground chorizo sausage. And I think that will go better with these potatoes, and I think that that's what she anticipated the recipe being like to begin with. So I'm just going to get this all squeezed out, and we're going to cook it up that way. Alright, so I'm cooking this up, and it smells amazing. I love the smell of chorizo. It's some of my favorite food. Back home in South Carolina, one of my favorite places to eat, well, our whole family's favorite places to eat, is a Mexican restaurant back in our hometown, and they sell choripollo, which is my favorite Mexican dish, which is like a grilled chicken with cheese sauce and chorizo on top, and it is so good, and this reminds me of that. I am not going to add all of the potatoes to this dish. I'm not necessarily thinking that the little kids are going to want to eat this chorizo, but the rest of us will. So I'm going to save them some of the potatoes, which are now boiling, and I'm probably going to serve it with pieces of the Beyond sausage. So let me get that started cooking right now. Alright, so it's looking pretty good. This is the plant-based Beyond sausage that I had bought for us to try. I'm just going to let it continue to cook here on the skillet while the potatoes continue to simmer. And this is the good stuff right here. I'm going to add in the potatoes in just a second. I'm thinking about adding some eggs as well. I think she said something about her recipe about adding some scrambled eggs. I'm going to check it again. But I think it would be good to add some scrambled eggs. Maybe. We'll see. So the chorizo and potatoes turned out really, really good. They have a really good flavor, so I'll probably cook this again. Check her out at Isabel Eats. You think there's a book in there?
Yes. There's a book! Oh, yes! There's a book! There's a book! There's a book! We'll see. It's a Bible! It's a Bible, Mom!
It is?
It's mine!
Can I see it? Oh, you know what that says? Christmas in the manger.
Me!
Do you want us to read that?
Yes.
All right.